When we think of Elul, we immediately get filled with fear. We think of the comments of our grandparents and our great-grandparents and the stories that we've heard about people passing out in shul on Rosh Chodesh, when they're on Shabbos Mevarchim, when they bench Rosh Chodesh, because the fear of the Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, rapidly approaching, fills us immediately with a sense of awe, of trepidation, of anxiety, of fear, of concern of what's going to be. However, it is also a time of opportunity. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, Daf Yud Ches Amud Aleph, explains that the pasuk that we recite in the Haftorah on Rosh Chodesh, Dirshu Hashem b'himatzo, the pasuk from Yeshaya, seek out Hashem when he is found close to you, refers to the time of year in which God is close to not only the tzibor, which is true throughout the year, but is readily accessible for even the yachid. Ask the Gemara, when is that time? What time of year is it that even the individual, that God is waiting and is close to even the individual, not just the tzibor? That is, explains the Gemara, the time of the Yomim Noraim, the time of starting from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, and already starting from Elul. It in fact explains Rav Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that Elul is a time of opportunity. That it's a time in which, as he gives a mashal, where a melech, a king, typically has all of the security, typically has all of the different obstacles that one has to go through until they're able to actually get to the king. They have to find their connection to be able to talk to them. They have to go through all the security, to go through all the buildings and corridors, and being able to get access some way, somehow, through their connections, to have a conversation, to have a face-to-face with the king. Explains the Baal HaTanya that when it comes to Elul, it is not all of those barriers break down. All of those barriers are removed, and in fact, the king, in this case, the Melech Malchi Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, comes out to the field, Hamelech Basadeh. The king comes out to greet us, and not only does he come out to greet us, but he waits for us to approach him. We don't need to go through all that bureaucracy. We don't need to go through all of those corridors and the interruptions and the ways in which we can access him based off of very specific conditions. But God is readily accessible during this time of Elul. Hamelech Basad, the king is in the field. And so while it is true that is a time of tshuva, time of great introspection, and yes, a time of fear and anxiety, which is very normal and appropriate as we approach the Yom Hadin, it is also a time in which we have greater access, where we have a greater connection, an open connection, where God is waiting for us to return to him. Hamelech Basad, that he already comes out to us, waiting for us to return to him and to make that connection.